Joining me today is Mike Moffett, who is a retired Marine veteran and an author. Mike, when we talked, you had gone back as a reservist in Desert Storm. You came back to the United States, and then years later, 9/11. Were you called back up? Were you still a reservist? Did you re-enlist? What was your thought process?
Right, I was still in a reserve status. I had done different things post-Desert Storm. And by this time, I was working at New Hampshire Technical Institute, NHTI Concord. I was doing some public relations and teaching. And 9/11 happened. We all remember where we were. And of course, being a Marine, I wanted to get back into uniform. And I was in a certain active status where I was able to respond to a request for help. And so 9/11 was September 11th. Before the end of October, I was back in uniform as a lieutenant colonel on General Frank's operations staff at Central Command at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. And that's where I wanted to be. Like so many people, you want to do something after we've been smacked like that. And so I was working for General Franks and his operation at Central Command.
And did you end up in Afghanistan? Did you end up in, where did you end up? Did you go over? You must have gone over.
Well, the focus was Afghanistan. Yep. in 2001, 2002.
I mean, 11,
after 9/11.
Yeah.
However, while I was there, the focus shifted from Afghanistan. By early 2002, it was clear that we were looking at Kuwait and moving stuff into Kuwait for what eventually became Operation Iraqi Freedom, which I did not go to. I got off of my assignment at MacDill and went to a different assignment in California, then came back to New Hampshire. So I did not get to Iraq. I get to Afghanistan later, as we'll probably touch on. But I spent almost 7 months at Central Command at MacDill.
So when you got to Iraq, Afghanistan, sorry. When you got to Afghanistan, what was your role? What was your assignment?
Well, I went to Afghanistan actually years later in a different capacity. I'm an infantry officer, but I had done some special assignments. I'm a history guy and a professor, and I finished up my Marine Reserve career working for History Division in Quantico. So I went back to Afghanistan in 2010. I was like probably about the oldest Marine in Afghanistan in 2010. I was a year older than General Nicholson, who was the commanding general when I get there. But my job in 2010 was to travel around Helmand Province, where the Marines were, and talk to Marines, interview Marines, take photos to document the operations and the experiences of the Marines. So I really kind of picked my own spots and would go to these briefs and see where there's operations and go to an outpost or a forward operating base and be with the people and talk to the people who are out doing stuff. And I loved it. It was a great experience.
Helmand Province at the time, was that relatively calm, or was that were the people in danger?
Helmand Province and Kandahar Province in the south, where the desert part of Afghanistan, were very volatile. When have they not been, I suppose, but particularly 2009, 2010, 2011.
So they didn't send you, they sent you into the action, as it were.
Well, I wouldn't say I was on point on a patrol, but I was right up there with the troops, as they came in from patrol, and we'd go in vehicles.
So, what did you learn from that about the Marines and about what we're doing?
It reinforced what I always felt about my Marines. I saw them out in these godforsaken outposts and forward operating bases where it's just so primitive and dirty, and their morale was great. I was just proud to be with them. It was just reinforced my feelings about being a Marine and being with the Marines, to see their morale and their can-do spirit. It was inspiring. I was just so proud of them.
Do you believe in do you believe in the mission then?
Sure. I think the leadership does a pretty good job of conveying to the troops, okay, here's the overall mission, here's our piece of it, and here's what you need to do to help these different pieces fall into place so that we can achieve our overall mission, which in Helmand Province was to basically take back the place from the Taliban, which they at great cost, but which they largely did. I think the Marines really had some spectacular success in Helmand Province.
And is that where you met the translator Fahim?
Yes, glad you asked. Yes, Fahim Fazli, Hollywood actor of all things, who was from Afghanistan, went back there. I met him in Helmand Province, Delaram in Helmand Province, and we stayed in touch. He came back. He's been in many movies, Argo, American Sniper. Currently, he's in Rock the Casbah, very nice. So we did a book on his life to include many interesting, fascinating parts of his journey as a kid, countering the Russians and coming to America, becoming an actor, and then going back and asking to be with the Marines in Helmand Province. Or it was really, the Taliban put a price on his head. He's had a beard, wore a uniform, and was a charismatic actor who made Afghans love Americans. He was the Taliban's worst nightmare. They put a price on his head, which fortunately nobody ever claimed. So,
we're out of time in this. I want to talk more about the book and sort of about your experience working with him. But right now, I have to go to commercial.